Hi, I'm Brian Eisenhower, and I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about FSBOs, for sale by owners, and how we prospect and market to for sale by owner sellers to try to list their houses. And one of the ways we do that is we're very patient, and we focus on relationship building instead of just calling them and attempting to try and list the property on the first phone call. Instead, what we're trying to do is kind of filter through all the FSBO sellers out there to try to locate those that are looking to sell. These statistics show that only about 20% of all FSBO sellers will actually ultimately list with a realtor. So we're really after those 20%. So the key is when we're talking to them in a relationship building, we want to kind of qualify them to make sure that the people we're actually talking to are ultimately going to do business with us. So the way to do that, along with building a relationship over time, is to try to systematize our lead follow-up. So we want to be very consistent and very orderly and very systematized in how we stay in contact with prospective FSBO sellers over time until they ultimately list with us. And one of the ways we do that without harassing or otherwise nagging potential clients is we try to come from contribution and add value by being of service to them. That helps us build some trust, establish a relationship, and shows that we're going to work hard and hopefully use the same efforts to sell their home. And some things that we can actually do to bring value to them is possibly show some marketing material about us, constantly keep them aware and updated with regards to market conditions, other homes that are listed for sale, and homes that sell, and maybe some of the prices of what homes are selling for in their market and how that relates to the potential value of their home. Providing them information about their own home, maybe property profiles or information that any title company could provide them about the size and dynamics of their home. All of those things to stay in contact. The key here is that first phone call, though. You have to make it number one. You have to reach out, and whether you're getting numbers from Craigslist online of for sellers trying to sell their own home, or you're just driving through neighborhoods or driving on the way to the office, on the way home, taking purposeful routes to try to locate new for sale by owners. All of the above work. The key is, though, to actually call them. And I find that one of the best ways to do that is use a script you're comfortable with. And the way that we do that is when we make that first phone call, we try to ask three very important questions to both relationship build and qualify the clients like we discussed earlier. So my first question is, if I were to bring you a qualified buyer, would you be willing to pay me a 3% commission? If they say yes to that question, then you've got someone that might be open to the idea of listing with a realtor later. If they're dead set against that, the likelihood they're going to list with you is rather slim. You see, listing with trying to for sale by owner your home is their attempt to save typically an initial 3% of commission at the outset, just like when the seller tries to list their home at a higher price for a while. They want to test the market. It's very similar, it's just dollars and cents. So if you're willing to wait out that period of time, then hopefully sooner than later they will be your client. Second question I follow up with if they say yes to that question is, how long are you going to try and sell your home on your own before you decide to start exploring other options? At that point, they'll typically give you a time period. And whatever time period they give you, you'll want to cut it in half. So let's say they say 3 months. That really means they're going to probably want to think about start selling in a month and a half. So that gives you an idea of how long you're going to need to stay in touch with them before they ultimately decide to list with you. That's when their impatience, or their patience I should say, runs out. They're done testing the market and they're ready to really try to sell the home. And lastly, the third question I would say is, if you don't sell your home by that time, what other options will you consider? So I want to know, if they don't sell it, what are they going to do? Are they possibly going to list with their best friend, or are they going to maybe their sister's a realtor? If that's the case, you may not want to waste your time. They may not be in that 20% that's going to list with you. So you want to keep filtering through all those available FSBOs until you can actually focus on those that will list with you. So those are just some ideas for you that you might want to take into consideration when you're working with FSBOs. Remember to focus on relationship building first. Be patient. Systematize your follow-up and ask qualifying questions to list those properties for sale. Thanks a lot.